Did you know you could make a movie from a Keynote? Today we're going to look at not only making this movie, but adding audio as well. So I already have a Keynote started with some information on it, and I'm going to go to my slide that does not have any audio. And if you're going to want to add audio, you simply tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner, and then you're going to see Record Audio as an option underneath that. Now, one thing that's a little deceptive is that you see this microphone down here, and obviously you're going to tap it when you're ready to record, but it's going to start immediately. So be prepared for that, because as soon as you tap it, it's going to start recording your voice. And then when you've said what you need to say, you are going to press stop. There's not a lot of editing that can go on here. If you push the edit button in the lower right-hand corner, you can trim on the edges, so maybe you didn't push stop right away, or maybe you didn't get started right away. You can trim that. You can obviously preview using the preview button over here. Toss it if you're not happy with it, or if you are happy with it, there's an insert up in the top corner here, and I'm just going to use that for now. Now it puts this sound symbol on here, so I'm going to take this and move it out of the way so it's not in the center of our screen here. And then what you can do if you want this to play automatically, so instead of you tapping on it to start, then you can tap on this symbol. When you tap on it, you get some choices, obviously deleting it again, but there's an animate choice, the animate. So I'm going to select that, and when I do the animate, I'm going to touch the start. And so I want this to start the audio, but I'm going to go to the options, and I'm going to say instead of on tap that I want it to start after the transition. So that means as soon as a slide comes in, it's going to get started. So then I can just click out of it, and that is done. And it shows me down here, this little yellow on here shows me that I have an animation into this. So I could just proceed into my slides for each one, and you'll notice that as I go to my next slide, I have different sounds, audio recordings, and animations on my slides that I have. So adding audio is pretty easy to do. Now, another thing you might want to do is have the slides move automatically as well, so that you don't have to tap on each one of those. So in that case, if I tap a slide, and I'm going to go back to my first slide that I have. So you notice I have one up here called Doorway, so I'm just going to tap that, and you can see that I have Doorway chosen. And there are lots of choices. Just keep in mind that a transition shouldn't be distracting for the viewer. It should aid in the viewer's experience. I'm also going to go down to the options down here, and if I select that, first of all, the duration in which you see at the top is how long the transition is going to take. So do you want that to be a really fast transition, or do you want it to be slower? If you notice, if I do after previous transition instead of on tap, then that's going to play automatically. Then this delay part is where I want to play around with how long my audio recording is. Now, technically you don't want your audio recordings to be too long. I noticed on here the delay is 60 seconds. You may want to keep your recordings relatively short, and that way it's easier for the viewer again to have more things to look at while you're speaking. But again, you can adjust this delay on here to however many seconds. So finally, to make this into a movie, I'm going to use the done up here to show that I'm done with this part of it. And then I'm going to go to the three dots in the upper right hand corner, and when I do that, export is a choice, and I'm going to choose that export from up there, and you see that movie is a choice. The resolution that you choose, obviously that's going to incorporate a couple of different things. That's the quality of the final movie, but also how much memory it's going to take. So I'm going to leave mine at the 1080p right now. If you change your mind, if you do one of them and you think you want a different one, you can always go back. So I'm going to go back from my movie options here. These timings, you shouldn't really have to worry about if you did the builds that are already in there, because you have already set the timings that you want. So notice this says timings only apply to tap events. And if you made yours play automatically, then that's not going to be a factor for you. So then you simply push export, and then it's creating your movie for you. So creating the actual movie itself isn't hard. Recording the audio and then putting the timings in takes a little bit more time. You're going to have to kind of play it and then adjust and play it and adjust. But it's kind of nice when you're all done to have this self-playing kind of movie that you can share with others. So I have up here choose how to send. So if you would like, you can save it to a file on your iPad, which is perfectly fine. You can do that. So I'm going to choose this save video. So once I save that video, I would find it in my photos under my videos. I now have this particular video saved that I can go and play or share or upload. Remember, if it's taking up a lot of memory on your device, you can always upload it to Google Drive and share it that way. So that's how you can make a movie.